This isn't just a halftime show. This is a case file, a cold case being reopened in front of 100 million witnesses. Kendrick Lamar's 2025 Super Bowl performance of Peekaboo was more than music. It was more than entertainment. It was a coded message, a spiritual autopsy, and a public trial conducted on the world's biggest stage.
Despite me disrespecting him as a man, because I can't respect him as a man.
I can't respect him that I got plastic, bro. Drake look like he got Drake got plastic surgery.
He was cooking it. Let your core audience stomach that. Then tell them where you get your abs from.
And a public trial conducted on the world's biggest stage. Tonight we're breaking down every visual, every lyric, every symbol, every movement, every decision. Because if you know what to look for, if you understand the language Kendrick is speaking, you'll see something extraordinary. You'll see Kendrick turn the biggest stage in America into a memorial for XXXTentacion, a warning to Drake, and a masterclass in layered storytelling that will be studied for generations. But before we dive in, understand this. Nothing in a Kendrick Lamar performance is accidental. Nothing is random. Not the lighting, not the choreography, not the stage placement, not the guest appearances. Every single element is calculated, intentional, symbolic. He's not just performing songs, he's building a narrative, he's constructing a case, and he's presenting it to the jury, that's us, without ever saying the accusation out loud. So let's start from the beginning. Let's examine the evidence. Let's solve this case. Exhibit A, the opening signal. The stadium goes dark. 100 million people holding their breath. The anticipation is electric. This is the moment everyone's been waiting for. And then, suddenly, on the massive screens above the field, an image appears. A PlayStation controller, specifically the X button. And it doesn't just appear, it beeps. Once, twice, 3 times. The camera lingers on that X button, holds on it, makes sure you see it, make sure you count. Triple flash, 3 beeps, 3 X's. XXX. Now, to most viewers at home, this looks like a gamer's Easter egg, a nod to PlayStation, maybe a sponsorship deal, cool visual effect, nothing more. But this is Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick doesn't do Easter eggs, he does breadcrumbs, he does clues, he does signals. The PlayStation X button beeping 3 times is the opening move in a chess game most people don't even know.
It's so crazy. Just looking back at this, it was more than a performance, bro. He might have really been exposing that Drake actually had something to do with X's murder, and he knew the inside details of what happened. Let's keep going, y'all.
They're watching. It's the first piece of evidence in a case that's about to unfold in real time. XXXTentacion, the young rapper murdered in Florida in 2018. The rapper whose death has been surrounded by conspiracy theories involving Drake for 7 years. But it goes deeper. Look at the album Kendrick is performing from, GNX. On the surface, it stands for Grand National Experimental, a reference to the Buick Grand National car, a symbol of black excellence and authenticity that Kendrick has been obsessed with. But in this context, in the context of this performance, with the X button beeping 3 times, GNX takes on a double meaning, a hidden meaning. Good night, XXXTentacion, a coded RIP XXX tucked inside the project name itself. The show hasn't even started yet. Kendrick hasn't said a word, and he's already set the tone. He's already told you what this is about, if you're paying attention. This is a memorial. This is a message. This is a trial. Exhibit B, the man under the stars. Now the performance begins. The section titled, I Deserve It All. The stage comes to life. The lighting shifts, and we see a tableau that looks, at first glance, like a typical Compton street scene. There's a group of men gathered under a light pole, the kind of scene you'd see on any corner in South Central Los Angeles. Friends hanging out, community, brotherhood. But then you notice something. One man is lying on top of the pole itself, not standing, not sitting, lying down, horizontal, at rest. And he's looking up, not at the crowd, not at the cameras, up, at the stars, at the moon, at the sky. On the surface, this is a beautiful, poetic image. A man from the streets gazing at the heavens. A moment of peace in a violent world. Classic Kendrick imagery, but look closer, think deeper, because Kendrick always operates on multiple levels. Symbolically, the man on the pole is resting. He's at peace. He's gazing at divine light, God's light, heavenly light, not the man-made spotlight of fame and performance. And here's where it connects. XXXTentacion had a song called Moonlight, one of his biggest hits. A song about reflection, about looking up, about finding peace. Now contrast that with Drake. Drake has a song called Daylight, and in Daylight, he raps about killing someone in broad daylight, about paying for the body instead of being there himself.
And which is so crazy because Moonlight is one of his greatest songs, and he did come out with Daylight, and it was weird because it seemed like he was talking about killing somebody as if he was flipping X's Moonlight into Daylight. He was talking about catching a body, and yes, like he wasn't there and he had to pay for it and all that stuff. Let's keep going.
About having someone else do the dirty work while he stays clean.
Did you guys hear the diss to X? Oh, on Daylight? Yeah, on Daylight. Wait, what did he say? So, okay, back this. X has a song called Moonlight. Drake dropped the track called Daylight. It's the total opposite. Oh, shit. I didn't back that. So obviously everyone knows the in Daylight. X in a car during day. And then watch, look at the lyrics. She went to Jung and she caught a body. I wasn't there when they caught the body. Drake obviously wasn't there. Bro said the shooters, and then he said TPS thinks that I bought the body. Internet swear that I bought the body.
I didn't like that.
Because fam, it's the same as the one on I'm Upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps throwing shots.
Do you think he actually did it, or is it just like a thing?
You see what Kendrick is doing here? He's creating a visual contrast, a symbolic opposition. XXX is at peace, looking up at the moon, bathed in God's light. Drake is in the shadows, operating in daylight, but spiritually in darkness, paying others to do violence. One man is at rest with God, the other man is running from God.
So your testimony to this court and to this jury is that you were never on the set of the God's Plan video filmed in Miami in 2018. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. How much money in 2018 did you receive from either Drake or one of Drake's associates?
I never met Drake.
You never met Drake?
No.
Do you know who he is though, right?
Yes.
Okay. But actually, in 2018, when this crime occurred, you didn't know who X was?
No.
Okay, so in 2018, you're from Broward County, correct?
Yes.
You listen to rap music, correct?
Yes.
And you're telling this jury that you didn't know who literally probably the most famous rapper to ever come out of Broward County was in 2018, in June of 2018. That's your testimony?
Yes.
You had no idea who he was?
Objection.
That's
Yeah,
cat.
move on.
One man is at rest with God. The other man is running from God. And Kendrick presents this without saying a single word about either of them, just through staging, just through symbolism, just through the language of performance art. Exhibit C, Uncle Sam's message. Then comes Uncle Sam, not the cartoon character, not the poster, Samuel L. Jackson himself, appearing on the Jumbotron, dressed as Uncle Sam, looking directly into the camera. And he delivers a message. Two specific lines that seem innocuous at first, but carry enormous weight when you understand the context. First line, the culture cheat code.
Yo, culture cheat code!
Think about what a cheat code is. It's a shortcut. It's a way to win without actually playing the game properly. It's skipping levels, getting rewards you didn't earn, accessing content you're not supposed to have.
Right.
This is a direct shot at Drake as a culture vulture, someone who steals flows and lyrics, someone who appropriates without giving credit. Someone who took from XXXTentacion when XXX was vulnerable, when he was in prison, when he couldn't defend himself or his art.
Drake fought me when I was in jail facing life. He's really taking my shit, running off with it, and then putting it on his album.
My doggy got booked for acting like book. He shot him in. Shot him in daylight.
You think I'm finna let you take my shit and not say nothing? Fuck OVO. Tell everybody in OVO suck my dick.
XXX accused Drake of stealing his flow, of using his style without acknowledgement, of being a culture vulture who profits off others' creativity. Kendrick is invoking that history, reminding everyone, calling it out on the world's biggest stage. Second line, scorekeeper, deduct one life.
Scorekeeper, deduct one life.
Drake loves bragging about numbers, about records, about being number one, about having more streams, more hits, more influence than anyone else. He's obsessed with the scoreboard. But in street terminology, in the language of violence, up the score means kill an enemy. Down a score means your side loses someone. The score isn't about chart positions, it's about bodies. Samuel L. Jackson says deduct one life. And immediately after this line, not 30 seconds later, not during a commercial break, but immediately, Kendrick transitions into peekaboo inside the X structure.
Scorekeeper, deduct one life.
Samuel Jackson said this right before Kendrick performed Peekaboo in the X spot, which, according to fans, is a reference to XXXTentacion, especially since the X spot was on the 30-yard line, and in Roman numerals, 30 translates to XXX. Some fans also believe Peekaboo is a nod to X's Helping Hand Challenge, since it samples Give Me a Helping Hand by Little Beaver.
Just called the Helping Hand Challenge. Hashtag the Helping Hand Challenge.
And to top it off, Kendrick started the performance sitting just like X did in his 2017 freestyle. What do y'all think of this theory? Comment down below.
It's a visual and narrative handoff. One life taken, one person lost. Now let's play peekaboo in the X. Now let's reveal what's hidden. Now let's expose the truth. The staging isn't random. The sequencing isn't arbitrary. This is storytelling. This is evidence being presented in order. This is a case being built brick by brick. Exhibit D, the X structure. Now we arrive at the centerpiece, the X stage itself, and this is where the symbolism becomes undeniable. The X isn't just a cool visual design. It's not just a geometric shape that looks good on camera. It's a multi-layered symbol with specific meaning that Kendrick wants you to decode. Look at the structure carefully. There are 3 distinct layers to the X. First layer, people surrounding the X on the outside, looking through glass. Their bodies, their positions, their arrangement forms an X shape when viewed from above. Human outlines creating the first X. Second layer, the glass walls themselves. They're not circular, they're not square. They're arranged in an X shape. Transparent barriers forming the second X. Third layer, the green turf on the floor inside the structure. It's not a solid color, it's cut into an X pattern. The ground itself forms the third X. 3 X's, XXX. Again and again and again, Kendrick is putting this symbol in front of you, making sure you see it, making sure you count it, making sure you understand. But here's the detail that locks it in. The detail that proves this isn't coincidence or creative design. The detail that shows this is intentional and calculated. The X stage is placed on the 30-yard line, not the 50, not the 20, not the 40, the 30. And in Roman numerals, 30 is written as XXX. Do you understand what Kendrick just did? He placed a triple X structure on the XXX yard line. He created a direct numeric echo of XXXTentacion's name on the Super Bowl field in front of 100 million people. This isn't subtle. This is a declaration. This is a memorial. This is Kendrick saying this performance is for X without ever speaking those words. Exhibit E.
And let me say this, let me vibe with y'all for a minute. Shout out my man Mike Drop TV. It's your boy Jet Ski G. We back with another banger, Mr. Late Night himself, where we run the late nights on YouTube. And it's becoming more and more apparent that if Drake wasn't capping, he definitely had something to do with XXXTentacion's unaliving, which is unfortunate because X was one of the biggest hearted, one of the most courageous artists in the game, where a lot of times, I said it in my last video, where I kind of fear for X because he was building like a cult-like following, but he liked to tell the truth. He liked to give y'all wisdom and understanding on how to change your life and how to write down goals and how to bring your dreams into fruition. And I always thought, like, the way he talked so much, it wasn't with hip hop or the world's agenda. You know, like, these are things that you have to learn yourself and not teach others, because when you try to teach people things like that, some way or another you end up unalived. So with Drake actually claiming or acting like he did, if he did do it, catch that body, I think it's one of the corniest things in hip hop, because you got people like Joe Budden who dissed you and destroyed you, Kendrick who dissed you and destroyed you, and you got this kid who actually was coming up in hip hop who just really wanted his own spot, who didn't even know you be out here stealing songs like that. He was a fan of you, but then you steal his song when he's in court facing life, and he comes home and he's like, yo, why is this guy stealing my song? Super corny. So y'all drop it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Did Drake have something to do with XXXTentacion's unaliving? I would love to see y'all comments. I'm going to be in them comments. I respond to them comments. It's your boy Jesky G, Mr. Late Night himself, where we run the late nights on YouTube. I'm out, y'all. This was a deep one.